Welcome to Al Bernstein Unplugged Unboxing. In a 40-year Hall of Fame career, Al has chronicled some of the greatest moments in boxing history. On this podcast, you get to hear him expand on those memories and talk about the current news in the sport of boxing. You also hear Al interview some of the biggest names in the sport. Here's Al Bernstein Unplugged.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the show. So glad you joined us. We have a very nice guest on this episode, Josh Taylor, who has two of the belts at the 140-pound limit in boxing, who is going to have a terrific fight on May 22nd in Las Vegas, a fight you can see on ESPN, against Jose Ramirez, who also has a title belt at that weight class. And that is a superb fight that has been months and months and months in the making. They finally were able to, nail down a date, and now it's coming up very soon, May 22nd. And it should be a terrific matchup. And we're going to get a chance to chat with Josh Taylor, the Scottish fellow who is, as I said, a world champion at age 30, has a big upside in the sport of boxing, but this is a major challenge that he's facing on May 22nd. Well, there's going to be a lot of major challenges coming up for boxers in the coming months, and it's going to be my pleasure to be involved in announcing matches of that ilk. I've been at this for 40 years as a broadcaster, and I've had stretches where I've done, a lot of good fights right in a row, and it ebbs and flows. Sometimes it's better than others, but I'm now kind of given a gift during this year with the schedule that Showtime Championship Boxing has announced from really this weekend when we start this list of fights all the way through September 11th. A slew of matches and cards that should be really terrific. And it has me very fired up to do this. And it's one of the stretches, I think, that is among the best I've had in all the years of announcing boxing. Let's take a look at some of these fights that are coming up. This weekend, I'll be in California when Luis Neri takes on Brandon Figueroa. That is one of the matches in this whole list that I'm looking forward to the most. Neri with a championship at 122 pounds and Figueroa with a secondary title at that weight. It's just a terrific matchup of two big punchers and offensive-minded fighters. Future Hall of Famer Nonito Donaire taking on a very tough man on May 29th in Nordine Oubaali, who is a superb champion. Jamal Charlo back in action on June 19th as he seeks major fights in the middleweight division. He'll be defending his world title. And then on a pay-per-view card, Gervonta Davis stepping up in weight to take on Mario Barrios, who's a very talented fighter at 140. And a fight on that card that I think is going to be fantastic at 154, Erickson Lubin taking on Jason Rosario, two men who Rosario was a world champion and now trying to climb back after a loss to Jermell Charlo. And I think that one's going to be a slugfest. Very, very talented super featherweight Chris Colbert taking on the always dangerous veteran Yuriorkis Gamboa, who's had titles at several weight classes. And then a fight that I am so looking forward to on July 17th, Jermell Charlo, who has proven himself now to be one of the very best fighters, pound for pound, in the sport, in a title unification match with Brian Castano. And Castano is an aggressive, all-action fighter, and if Castano can get past the early rounds in that fight and bring it into the middle or later rounds, you're going to see a war in that battle. And John Riel Casimero has been in a number of firefights where he is just a power puncher with tremendous offense, and he'll take on former champion Guillermo Rigondeaux, who is now a whole different fighter. Forget the former defensive-minded Guillermo Rigondeaux that you were used to seeing in fights that sometimes didn't fire your imagination. He now is right in front of everybody, battling it out, and Casimero will love that for sure. David Benavides, who I think is a man that we'd love to see in against somebody like Canelo Alvarez for a world title, is going to take on Jose Uzcategui for a WBC super middleweight title eliminator. That a winner of that is supposed to fight for the WBC super middleweight title, and that should be an interesting battle. Uzcategui, a power puncher who's had an up and down rocky time in his last several fights, but still has tremendous power. And then finally, the end of this whole run of fights, it kind of ends up where it began, because the winner of the Louis Neary, Brandon Figueroa fight will battle Stephen Fulton Jr., who is the WBO champion in the 122-pound division. It is a division that is loaded with talent, and that fight has the makings of a real battle. So as you can see, that is going to be an exciting schedule of boxing. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you'll all enjoy it as we move forward with this summer and fall and spring as well on Showtime Championship Boxing. Of course, there are many other platforms that have great boxing as well. And as an example of that, the May 22nd fight that will be between Josh Taylor and Jose Ramirez. That's going to be on ESPN. That's a top-ranked fight. A very highly anticipated matchup between two champions who I think are right at the prime of their boxing careers. Now, Josh Taylor, the 30-year-old Scotsman who has two of the 140-pound belts, a delightful guy, as well as a very talented boxer. And I got a chance to chat with Josh about his career and this upcoming fight. Let's take a look. Josh, it's a delight to get a chance to chat with you in advance of your fight with Jose Ramirez. The last time I got to interact with you was several years ago when I was privileged to come over and announce your fight with Victor Postol in Glasgow.
Yeah, that was the last time I've seen you. So yeah, it's good to see you again. All through it be FaceTime, but yeah, it's good to see you. Hope you're well. Hope you're keeping well.
Yeah, it's all good. That was a wonderful experience. That was my only time ever coming to Scotland, believe it or not. And I've always wanted to go. I didn't get a chance to do as much there as I would have liked. So I might be knocking on your doorstep sometime and to say hello. I'll come back and visit as a tourist.
You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome to come over anytime you want.
Now, in the meantime, you are over here in the United States for your very first fight in the U.S. And how does that feel? I know you've wanted to fight over here, and now the opportunity has arisen.
Yeah, obviously I'm over the moon. I've landed the biggest fight I can ever imagine. And in boxing, for all the four belts. The Ring Magazine, the IBF, WA, WBO, and WBC. It's a massive fight. It's a jackpot of boxing. It's the height of boxing. So yeah, I'm over the moon. I've got this opportunity, and I'm glad that I've managed to get a fight in Vegas. It's at the Mecca of boxing, which I'm ecstatic about. So yeah, I've boxed in America 3 times as a professional already. But obviously this is the first time headlining, so what a fight to do it. So yeah, I'm absolutely buzzing.
Yeah, and you're even opening up you're the first boxing event at the Virgin Casinos, which is kind of interesting, huh?
Yeah, it's good. It's a different arena to what we usually, but it's one with about 11 crowds in and that as well. So yeah, that's good as well. I'm happy that there's crowds there in this fight as well.
Yeah, you'll have some fans there. I know that. I saw you in a couple other interviews saying how hopeful you were that fans would get to show up, which this is a big plus, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a massive plus. It's a fight of this magnitude. You dedicate your whole life for this kind of moment. And you dream so many dreams at night when you're thinking about these fights. And these events. Wishing that you'd be in this spot and this opportunity in front of thousands of fans and a big massive fight and all that, and for it to have been sort of a potential where no fans would have been able to come, and no, I'm not even got allowed. I'm not allowed to have travelling fans now either, which is a bit of a kick in the teeth. It's a bit of a dampener on the whole situation. It's a dream fight, but it's been tarnished by this whole pandemic thing. And no crowds and stuff, and no traveling support. But that's all good. We're all good. I believe I'm going to win this fight, and we'll be back in America to do it again at some point with our traveling support again. All my friends and family come over with me.
Yeah, you have a lot of fans in America who the world has become a much smaller place now because of the media. So people are aware of fighters that's what's changed the most in all the years I've been doing boxing. Now, people in America, are well versed now on fighters in Europe and in the UK and your part of the world. Ben Davidson now has been training you for several fights, and you two have had some time with each other. What has that collaboration been like for you? And are you comfortable with now completely comfortable with each other? And how's that working out?
Oh yeah, it's been awesome, and I think it's actually this whole pandemic because it's actually worked out in our favour. It's gave us a little bit more time to get to know each other on a personal level. We've spent a lot of time together. Not just as a boxer and coach. We've spent a lot of time together personally with each other. One-on-one time, getting to know each other's minds and how we each other tick, and we know each other very well, and it's turned into a really good friendship as well as a working relationship as well. It's been great. And this obviously I was to box last year and it got put back and then put back again. So it's given us more time to gel together and get to know each other better. And the partnership is working brilliantly. I couldn't be any happier where I'm at the minute. I'm really happy with the way things is going and the way we're training and the way we work together. I've never been so happy as a fighter.
That's great. And so the pandemic worked for all the negatives. It provided at least one plus. Now, Jose Ramirez, excellent fighter, a champion. This is a title unification match, and as you point out, which makes it even more exciting. Now, the interesting thing is you guys have a common opponent in Victor Postol, who fought very well in both fights. He fought well against you and gave you a good battle, and was in an even closer fight in his loss with Jose Ramirez. Some people felt like Ramirez's performance against Postol was a little bit subpar for him.
Yeah, but listen, everybody's discredit going on about Jose Ramirez's performance. What about Victor Postol's performance?
Right, Postol did a good job, didn't he?
Victor Postol's performance was outstanding. He was great, and I thought Ramirez was very fortunate to come away with that decision. I watched it back a couple of weeks ago, and I actually could have gave Victor Postol the win. When I first watched it the day after the fight, I watched it just the once, and I scored the fight a draw. But then I watched it a couple of weeks back, and I actually nicked it towards Postol. So I thought Postol had a very good performance. Did Ramirez perform below par? Maybe, possibly. I don't know. But all I know is that he was very fortunate to come away with that decision.
That's a really interesting point you made, and it speaks to you preparing for Ramirez, because by giving Postol credit for how well he fought in that fight, which he did, as he did against you, he put on a terrific fight in Scotland, and it kind of diminishes this idea that you're looking at a Ramirez that in any way, is diminished from where he was. What do you expect from Jose Ramirez on fight night?
I'm training for the best possible version of Jose Ramirez ever. You better believe that. I'm training for a hard fight. He's a good champion. He's a good fighter. And he brings the heat. He brings that pressure and the heat, and brings that fire. So I'm expecting the best version of Jose Ramirez, and we're training for a full tough 12 rounds, and I'm in tremendous shape. I'm in tremendous condition. So I just believe this is my time to shine. I don't believe that Ramirez is going to bring anything that I've not seen before.
Yeah, you mentioned a couple times that the way you put it, which was interesting, was that you feel in every department you're a little better than him. Explain that a little bit more.
I just think I'm a little bit better than him in every department. I just think I can fight better than him. I can box better than him. I can move better than him. I've got a better boxing IQ. I've got a better boxing brain than him. I just think I'm better than him than every department. But obviously that talk is cheap. We'll have to prove that on May 22nd. But I really do believe this is my time to shine. And I just believe this is my time. I'm so confident. I'm really supremely confident in coming into this fight.
You if you should come out of this fight with a win, which is certainly quite possible, and you're confident that you will, is this a fight that will kind of stamp you? You're 30 years of age. You're already well known in the sport of boxing, and you're a champion. But is this a fight that's going to push you to another level if you get a win here?
This is a massive fight for me, for both myself and Ramirez. It's a chance to make massive history for myself. Become the first Scotsman to become unified, undisputed world champion since my fellow countryman Ken Buchanan. The first person from over the pond to be the 4-belt undisputed world champion. And that really, for me, is a massive motivator. It's a huge piece of history to be made, and it really cements my name in the history books as one of the sporting greats. There's only been 6 fighters in the 4-belt era history that have achieved this. So massive motivation for me to win this fight and really leave my name in the history and cement my name in the history books, and leave a great legacy.
Very nice reference to Kenny Buchanan, who is a terrific fighter who doesn't always get his just due. He was a fantastic fighter. He's known only for that loss to Duran, but he was fantastic, and that was nice you gave him credit. Now, you can still make 140 just fine, it appears, from what you've said. Is there still a lot for you to do if you should, come out victorious and get a big win? And of course, who knows, if it's a great fight, you never know, there could be a rematch. But what is there a lot still for you to do at 140, or are you tempted in any way to go up in weight?
Well, I'm not in a hurry. We'll just see what comes my way. Obviously, I'm not thinking anywhere past the 22nd. I'm fully focused on the 22nd. But ultimately, if I win this fight at 140, have I got anything left to do at 140? I've proved I'm the best. I've won all the belts. I've beat all the world class opponents my last 5 fights. So what else have I got to prove? I've already proved I'm number one. So it'd be a chance of maybe going up and chasing a second-weight world title or whatever. It's there's some big fights up at 147. There's still big fights at 140. So we'll just see what comes my way, and then we'll just see whatever I feel like doing. Really, we'll take it as it comes. Take it as it comes.
One of the things that I would think, no matter what, you would want to do is bring another big fight back to Scotland. Is that something you've thought about? And I know you've even talked about where you'd like that fight to be at, but that's probably something that's on your mind too, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I'd love a fight at the historic Edinburgh Castle.
That's great.
I'd love a fight there, a big world title fight there. Take a big fight back to my home city. I've not fought in my home city for a long time. So it'd be great to box at the Edinburgh Castle in the middle of the summer, or at my beloved football team, Edinburgh Hibernian Football Club. So it'd be great to box at one of these venues after this fight, providing it all goes my way. And it would be awesome. That's one that's on the bucket list as well, is to bring a big fight back to Scotland as well.
Yeah, that would be great. The atmosphere was wonderful over there, and is when you fight, and you get great fan support. So that would be an exciting event, I think, to beam to the rest of the world. You in a couple of interviews, you're 30 years old now. You suggested that you don't want to be fighting when you're 36 or 37, and you kind of alluded to the fact that you think 3 or 4 more fights would be good for you if you can make big fights. Is that kind of still where your brain is at? And then at that time, you'll be ready to think about retiring?
I don't know. The desire in my belly right now is on fire. It's a furnace. I'm
Yeah.
hungry for more. I know for a fact that when I win this fight, I'm going to be hungry for more and do more and achieve more. Um, will I ever get the urge not to fight? I don't think so. It'll never leave me. It'll never leave me. But at the same time, do you want to be boxing when you're 40 years old? No,
Yeah.
you want to be just time to it's time to enjoy life and invest your money well and enjoy life and start a family and enjoy the other things in life. I've dedicated my whole life to this sport. Certainly since I was about 14, 15 years old. My whole life to this sport. My whole adult life has been to boxing. And I've missed out on a whole lot of things and a whole lot of other things in life. So it's if all goes my way, another 5, 6, 7 fights, maybe tops, and then leave the sport with all my airs and graces and faculties about me, and live the rest of my life as a champion, and go and start my life as start a family and settle down a little bit more, get married to my fiance and things like
Yeah,
that.
you guys just got engaged, right?
Things that I've not been able to do as an active fighter, a young hungry fighter. I've gave everything to the sport to get to where I am today. So do I want to be boxing when I'm 40 years old?
Now, you deserve a little happiness, and congratulations on your engagement. Yeah, that is great. What do you think that, in closing here, do you see yourself winning by a knockout against Ramirez? How do you see it going?
I certainly can knock him out. I've seen a lot of things in his game that I think I'll exploit on fight night. And I do think I'm going to knock him out. I really do think I'm going to knock him out. Obviously, we just need to wait to see the way the fight unfolds and the way the fight goes. But I really do believe I can knock him out, and I do believe I will knock him out.
Well, everybody in boxing is looking forward to this fight. It's one of the most anticipated in the sport, and everybody's excited to see the two of you fight. He's a terrific fighter. You're a terrific fighter, and it's making for a great event for the fans. And I'm sure you're excited to finally get this thing happening.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. To come out on fight night to fans, and I probably imagine it would be a more a Mexican sort of fan base.
Yeah.
But they might be booing me in, but they're going to cheer me out, and I can't wait to go in there and lift all them belts and really leave my name in the history books. It's going to be a great fight for sure. The two of us are great champions, great fighters, and it's got the makings to be a great fight. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm pretty sure he is as well. And yeah, it's going to be a great fight. But it's my time to shine, and I'm going to be a champion. So I'll be talking next time I speak to you. I'll be talking to you as undisputed champion.
There you go. Well, good luck to you. And I know all the fans, even if they're rooting for, some of them are rooting for Ramirez, will appreciate your work because you are greatly respected in the sport of boxing by fans on both sides of the pond. That's for sure. Well, great to visit with you, Josh.
Yeah, and it was good talking to you, Al. Nice to see you again. And I hope to see you again soon.
All right. Take care.
Cheers. Thank you. Thank you.
So I hope you enjoyed my chat with Josh Taylor. Again, May 22nd, his fight with Jose Ramirez to unify the 140-pound titles. It should be a terrific matchup. You can catch it on ESPN, and it'll be at the brand new Virgin Hotel opening up, that has opened up here in Las Vegas. Well, our thanks to Josh for joining us for the interview. My thanks to all of you for watching. Without you, we wouldn't have a show. And my thanks to the Let's Do Something production folks for making this show possible. We'll see you next time.